Sister Nyango here, hoping that you're healthy, wealthy, and free, and loving your life always. Today we're going to talk a little bit about practicing being non-judgmental. Okay? This is, in my definition, you know how you have that instinctive reaction that every time somebody says something or does something or you see something, even on social media, watching a video, and your immediate reaction is, why didn't they do it like this? Why didn't they do it like that? You know, why are they doing this or that? And that in its essence is being judgmental. So to get to a point where you're simply absorbing, okay, you're simply absorbing whatever content it is, because hopefully you're watching it or reading it for a reason, you know, because you want to get something from it. So once you're able to take away your judgment, then you can see it from a neutral point of view. Okay, cool. So the first aspect of this practicing being non-judgmental is in terms of being a perfectionist. So for example, you as a perfectionist, you know, in whatever situation, you want to see something done how you have visualized it. You've seen it in your mind's eye in this way, and so when you give the instructions for it to be done, you expect it to come out in that exact way. And when it comes out differently or from a different perspective, then you can very quickly get irritated, get annoyed. Why didn't you follow my instructions? I told you to do this and you didn't do it. Not knowing that in the artist's mind or the doer's mind or the person that you've given this instruction to, it looks fine. It looks good. You know, and I'll give an example. So I actually had some work commissioned. Let me not say commissioned. I got some photographs taken, and I assumed, you know, that this person knew what they were doing because I had worked with them previously, and they had done some pretty good work. And when I got these photos, because I didn't even bother, you know, to check them beforehand, you know, because I was sure that they would get done, they would be completed, and they would be done according to the standards that had previously been set. And I saw them, and I immediately, you know, I'm clicking through these photos, and I'm getting pissed. I'm like, what is this? What is this? What is this? Huh? And I actually contacted this photographer, and you know, and I'm venting. I'm like, why is this work not up to par? We've done this before. Do I need to, you know, do I need to re-explain what I explained the first time? Only to realize that he was giving me a different aspect, you know, of what he thought I would need. You know, he was just giving his own perspective as an artist, because everybody in their particular task considers themselves an artist at what they do. Am I clear? Yeah, at what they do. Okay. So once I listened to the explanation of this outcome, then I realized my reaction was completely obtrusive. It was wrong. It was wrong. I reacted the wrong way, you know, and it was possibly my fault, because I didn't explain that I want this done in this particular way or exactly as we had done them before. And I allowed him that freedom to express himself, which is what an artist would always want to do. Let me show you my best self, because I've been working on myself and I've been working on my craft, you know? And so with this new view, with this different view, different perspective, not really thinking in terms of what I had wanted initially, I go back and I look at these photos and I realize, well, they're actually not that bad. I could post a few. I could, I'm letting you know about my life, but I could, you know, I could use them. You see, so this is one aspect of practicing being non-judgmental. just absorbing the content as it is from a neutral point of view, just allowing yourself to take it in before you decide that this is wrong or this is right. First of all, see it. And if it's kind of, hits you the wrong way, then ask. I was thinking of request or inquire. Yeah, inquire, find out from this person, what exactly were you thinking? Why did you think that this would be a better way to do it than what we've done before? And maybe it's actually a better perspective than you had thought about. Okay, that's the first aspect. So in terms of being a perfectionist. The second aspect is the fact that people live their life and learn from experience. I was having a discussion with my mom the other day, and it was in regards to some family friends that we have, and her first, so it was based on some actions that they had made in the past, okay, and that had resulted to a situation that they're in the moment. And her first reaction was, why would they let that happen to them? Why would they allow this kind of thing to happen? It doesn't make any sense for parents to do this kind of thing. And I thought to myself, and I said this to her as well, you don't do, you're not expected to teach something to your child, to your friends, or to talk about something that you don't know about, that you haven't experienced, And I gave the example, if, for example, I were to win a lottery, okay, and you are my mom, you guys are my parents, would you advise me to go and buy stocks? And she said, no, I would advise you to put it in a safety, in a fixed deposit account, or buy land or do this, And I said, that makes sense because I have seen you do this. These are things that you have seen, that you practice. Now, if you give, for example, the example of an American family. I watched a video the other day. And actually, I was listening to Tony Robbins' book, Money Master the Game. Okay, and he gives the example of this lady. I think she's currently the CEO of one of these huge financial institutions. I don't remember the exact name. And she tells a story that when she was 7 years old, her 7th birthday, her grandmother gave her a gift of a stock, a share of a company, and told her that, keep this share as it is, do not sell it, keep it where it is, don't touch it for the next 30 years, and experience the beauty of the compounding effect. Now, these are two different situations, because then in this case, this girl grows up, becomes who she is now, and her reaction when she's giving gifts to her daughters is to buy them shares, a diversified portfolio, different, in terms of asset management, putting their money into all these financial instruments. While my parents' reaction to getting this whole bunch of money is to buy land and to maybe put it in a fixed deposit account, or to invest in farming, this is all based on culture. So at no one point can you judge a person for what they're doing based on your perspective of life. You should always try and see it from their perspective, try and see it from how they have lived their life. And of course, you don't know how everybody's life has been, how they grew up, what they've experienced. We have no idea. So because of this, we can never judge. Because even if you grew up with a person, you don't know the experiences that they had, how they reacted to these experiences, At no point is it okay to be judgmental of a person who insults you, of a person who does good to you. You can be suspicious, you can be cautious, you can decide to just stay away, you know, but don't in your mind decide that they made the wrong choices or whatever. And this is something another way of practicing this is through the Mind Valley six phase meditation, which I might have linked. I will link it here. It should be somewhere here. I will link it. And the 6 phase meditation actually teaches you to, at some point in the 6 phases, forgiveness. And it's forgiveness from your own view. Like, you put yourself in the person's shoes and tell yourself, you know, try and figure out why this person did this to you. Put yourself in their shoes and act like you were them and see, you know, justify their actions, justify why they did this to you. And once you've justified this, then you're told to forgive them. Just find it within yourself to forgive them and just let it go. I think that's one way that just gives like a beautiful perspective of it. By the way, I'll also put in a link to the Mind Valley app, because you actually get this meditation for free. So yeah, being non-judgmental, I think it's the most freeing thing that anybody could practice, where you look at a person, you read an article, you see something, and your only job is to view it. Have no reaction to it, absorb it. Actually, if you can, think of it in only positive ways. How magical that would be if we could all think like that all the time. It's not that easy, but it's a practice, and one worth having. That's my jam for the day, and I hope you enjoyed it. Ciao.